Alright everybody, let's talk about something that a lot of people ask, and that is going to be power level. So power level is not everything, but it is something that a lot of people are hyper fixated on, and they want to constantly upgrade and level up and increase that power level. So that big number that we do see on the screen, we want to see it higher. And as you guys can see, for my Silent Salt at 5-star promotion with no topping, no biscuit, nothing like that, it's going to be sitting at 556,068. For some of you guys, especially when you guys watch my review videos, a lot of you guys ask, hey, HyRool, you have like literally 0-star promo and nothing on the cookie at level 1. How is it this high of a power when mine is like only 24,000? So in this video, I'm going to go over every little thing that we have in actually increasing the overall power level, which also does indicate that your stat for the cookies mainly are going to be higher, which does definitely help out in arena and all of that stuff. But I do want to let you guys know before I go over everything that naturally damage dealers, so someone like Silent Salt as well as Shadow Milk, you know, someone like Eternal Sugar, they're always going to have naturally higher power. Why? Because their skill is one, focused on dealing damage, and because they're a damage dealer, their attack percentage is going to be naturally higher than someone like tanks. All right, so that's the reason why their power is naturally going to be higher, because power, it does have a big impact depending on how much crit, cooldown, attack stat, as well as what kind of damage or percentage damage that the skill does as well. All right, so let's talk about it first. Okay, obviously there's a couple things that come into mind that you guys are able to see right away when you guys talk about power, and that is going to be topping as well as going to be biscuits now. All right, so the thing that changed from last time is that the topping now includes regular toppings as well as topping tarts. All right, so the regular topping, I do have a video on this on like what to focus on when you're upgrading substats. But again, if you want to just strictly increase power level, cooldown, crit, attack, those are the 3 stats that are going to really increase your power level. It doesn't mean that your cookies are just going to be super OP and destroy everything, because obviously in certain situations like damage resist is going to be very important. Sometimes attack speed is going to be important. Sometimes HP and other things like that are going to be important as well. So there needs to be a good balance, but it is going to be that the topping and the topping tarts are going to heavily impact the amount of power your cookies are going to get. So you guys can see without any toppings, it's going to be sitting at 556,000. But once I do put on bunch of raspberry, it increases all the way up to 952,000. So very simple. Again, toppings, resident toppings, I have a video on that. Regular toppings, obviously you farm it from world exploration and things like that, but the one that you have to focus on is going to be topping tarts. So topping tarts are something that was newly added with the mines. All right, so mines are going to be available to you guys once you guys do clear up to, like, I think it's like castle level 5 or something like that. Now they decrease even lower, but once you guys go into the workshop and you guys are getting these butter ambers from events, from login, from doing the mining, that's going to be available to you guys to craft these epic topping tarts. Of course, you have a chance in the rare and the commons. I have a video on this as well, but I'm gonna just briefly go over it. So you can craft these epic topping tarts. It's gonna be randomized, as well as the substat or the number is gonna also be random as well. But you guys were able to see right there, my that Swift chocolate one was pretty darn good with a purple substat or purple stat. So those are the ones that you want to be focusing on, like raspberry, Swift chocolate. I mean, mostly, having a topping tart is going to be great, because without having to upgrade, without having to do a whole RNG with substats, they're going to have a stat already built into them. So it's really going to be easy to get even higher percentages on your cooldowns, for your attack stats, for your HP stats, because naturally they're going to be higher than something like, your toppings. All right, obviously you can do substats on the toppings, but just by straight up stat, These things like 11.9 compared to a 9 percentage, obviously you get 2 more percentage on top of that. And also topping tarts gets considered for the set effect. So set effect is another thing that increases a bunch of your stats. So we do have like 2-piece cooldown set effects, we have like 6-piece raspberry set effects, and so on and so forth. So those are available to actually increase your substats as well. All right, so that is also available to you guys. Now going into the biscuit, I'm gonna just briefly go over this, but biscuits, super important. Go and watch my video on how to upgrade, what to look out for. But the main thing is you want to attune your biscuits first so that you have 4 slots, and then you want to focus on substats that are going to be important for that particular cookie. Most of the time, arena damage dealers, damage resist bypass. For tanks, damage resist cooldown, and then of course you have like healers, cooldown, damage resist, and things like that. Of course, it just really depends on what the cookie does and what the cookie needs. All right, but these are naturally going to increase at level 30 for legendary biscuits. All right, increase attack by 30% and HP by 35%. Okay, so that already gives you a bunch of stats, and then your substats also is going to increase your power. So those are the 2 main things that we have after promotion and upgrading your skill and leveling up your cookies. So now with that out of the way, let's go into more in-depth stuff that you can find on the cookie page. So if you guys go into the bottom left hand corner, which I am currently covering right now, if I get rid of myself, then you're gonna be able to see this little thing right over here, the bond. All right, so bonds are something that a lot of people don't kind of know about. It's there, but it actually impacts a lot of the reason why like my level 1 is higher than your level 1. All right, it's because of the fact that once you guys do have all of these specific cookies from the bonds not leveled up but promoted, that is going to give you guys some stats. So naturally, like all of my cookies are getting a bunch of extra HP as well as a bit of extra attacks and defense and things like that. And that's another reason why my cookies are naturally higher power than some of yours, because right now out of all of the 30 bonds, I do have almost all of them except for this one as of right now, because I did not pull enough for grapefruit, orange, or lime. All right, so I'm missing out on a little bit of extra stats there, but besides that, almost everything right here is at max bond. All right, so we do have that for the cookie side as well as the costume side. So this is another thing that probably a lot of free-to-play player or like new players are missing out on, obviously, because costumes are a little bit harder to get, actually a lot harder to get, but that also gives a little bit of extra stat, not a ton, all right, but some extra stats. So we have like 15 attack, right? These particular ones, like this one, I believe is amplified buff with some attacks. So those all give extra stats for your cookies, and that's the reason why bonds are there, and a big reason why some of the cookies that you see on my screen as well as some of the other veterans are going to be higher than yours. Next one is going to be outside, and that's going to be all of your landmarks. So this is something that I always check when I do some account reviews and stuff, but landmarks like this one gives defense, this one gives crit percentage, this one gives attack percentage, HP, we have crit damage, we have damage resist. So all of these like flat out stat ones are going to be very, very important, because those are going to give you guys, extra stat, which means that your power level is going to increase as well. All right, so definitely recommend you guys to go and focus on these landmarks. They're worth it. Even if they cost crystals, I highly recommend you guys to use your crystals to build them early on, because you have a lot of, income from, world exploration clearing and things like that. And then start upgrading them as soon as possible, because those are going to definitely help you guys out in making a difference between whether you're going to actually finish and clear that particular stage or not. All right, so landmark is another thing. Next, let's go into this right over here that actually got revamped recently with the update 2, and that's gonna be your Sugar Gnome Lavatory. All right, so Sugar Gnome Lavatory, we have the kingdom side and the cookie side, but for us in this particular video, obviously it's gonna be the cookie side. So when you guys come into the cookie side, there are gonna be certain ones like these technologies are going to increase your overall power as well as your stats. Okay, stat increase equals power increase of your cookies. All right, so there are specific class ones, so charge cookie specific, bomber cookie specific, but there's ones where all cookies are receiving that bonus as well. So another big thing, comparing your account to my account, some of you guys who are slacking or lacking or just haven't done the laboratory or just starting off, this is not upgraded. All of my stuff right here, most of them are upgraded except for the ones that increased recently, which are going to be these two right here. All the stat ones are maxed out, and that's the big reason why, you know, my cookies are going to be doing a little bit more damage or a lot more damage in certain cases, or just going to have a lot more power level than some of your cookies. All right, so don't slack off on this. I don't recommend to heavily, like, you know, just go all into the cookie side, because kingdom side is where it really helps out in building those resources to actually go and level this particular section up. So you know, I would say, you know, kind of balance it out between the two, and that is another way to increase your power level. And then another big thing that you guys need to understand and know is going to be inside of the Hall of Ancient Heroes. Not only is this going to be used to level up your cookies without using EXP, star jellies, or skill powders, but it is going to be this section, the Statue of Heroic Radiance, which is going to increase a lot of your stats here as well. So mine right now is at level 94. I believe the max level is 100. Another big thing, the reason why, like, these are the little things that, you know, add up to make my cookies a lot stronger, and that's going to be attack, defense, and HP increase for all of my cookies at level 94. Obviously, this does get unlocked later down the line, and then once you guys do get it, make sure to farm these radiant shards so that you guys are going to have cookie bonuses as well as kingdom bonuses as well. So you actually farm more resources faster when you have this thing leveled up too. So highly recommend you guys to focus on the statue as well, if you haven't been doing that. All right, so those are going to be the things that you see on your kingdom side. All right, so you had the landmarks, you have the technology, you have the, you know, heroic radiance, or statue of heroic radiance, but now going on to a big portion of the game, and that's going to be your guild. All right, so I talked about this a lot back in the days too, but just by simply joining a guild, you actually get a bunch of stat. So at level 70 right now, my cookies are getting a total of 10% attack, 16% defense, and 15.50% HP. So this does get applied as soon as you join a guild, and that's why if you leave a guild or you get kicked from a guild, your power level drops dramatically because of that particular reason. So I highly recommend you guys to go and join an active guild, because that definitely helps out in allowing you know, for you to not only gain a lot of rewards from the guild boss battles and guild cookie alliance and things like that, but stat wise. But it does not just end there. All right, but also a lot of these effects that you guys see right here is coming from the guild relics. All right, so inside of the guild museum, you guys are gonna be able to see all of these relics. These relics actually, although the legendary ones have special effects that is built onto themselves, like this one, cookie defense increase, but there's actually more because these set bonuses are also a thing as well. So like if you have all of these relics inside of your museum, then you guys get a set bonus, which also sometimes increases your attack, defense, and you know, things like that for specific, you know, class or specific cookies, and it might be for specific game modes or just overall. So that's another reason why joining a guild is so important. So two major, you know, buffs coming from the guild level as well as the museum or the relics. So you're able to check all of this, you know, bonuses here just by clicking on guild buffs. These are all the stuff you're getting just by joining a guild. So if you're not in a guild, or if you're not in an active guild, probably this is the wake-up call to go and join in right now. All right, so that is, I believe, pretty much everything that we have as of right now. So kind of a quick recap. We have the leveling up cookie, of course, promoting and ascending your cookies. We have the skill level. We have the biscuit. We have the topping and the topping tarts. We also do have the bonds coming in, so the cookie bond and the costume bonds. We also do have right here We have the technology right here. We also do have this right here, the Statue of Heroic Radiance. We have the landmarks, and then we have the guild effects. So all of these combined, being at, almost at the high end, or the very, very high end of things. That's the reason why my cookie might be higher than yours. So all of these things come into play. So that is your answer to why my cookie is going to be inflated in power compared to some of you guys. Again, power is not everything. Some of the cookies are going to just naturally have higher power. Just because a squidding cookie is like, a million power with some toppings on, doesn't make squidding very, very good. Very outdated, all right? Some of the magic candies, crystal jam, and things like that also inflates power. Like Frost Queen has 1.6 million power with like not even a full-on set of toppings. Silent Salt absolutely destroys her. Why? Because Silent Salt just has better kits, but power level is lower than Frost Queen. So again, it's not everything, but it is something that does show that, hey, my cookie is built. Hey, I have all of this stuff upgraded, or I am upgrading a lot of these things. So hopefully you guys found this video helpful. It is a revamp from the last video that I did, because again, topping tarts and stuff like that has been added. So hopefully you guys found the video helpful, guys. But thanks for watching. And if you guys have anything, please let me know down in the comments below. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.